What's up, guys? So I was watching a Dave Murphy video, and as you get on YouTube and there's like suggested videos, and allegedly Dave, he doesn't believe in Jesus. He doesn't believe that Jesus was real. It's just funny. It's just funny to just be so blunt. It's funny because he was on an interview with the guy that does Extreme Health Radio, and he's like, "Well, there's no proof that Jesus lived." And I thought, well, this is a guy who knows that the Earth is flat, that NASA has lied to us, and it's funny. It's funny how Mark Sargent and all the big leaders, the self-chosen leaders of the flat Earth movement, like Sargent and Rob Scuba. Well, I guess Rob Scuba believes in Jesus, but you have your Eastern occultists. What's his name? Gee, I forgot his name. But you have all these channels that have come up. You can call them shills or liars or controlled opposition or whatever. But I've always been interested in allegedly Dave, because I knew him before the flat Earth. I knew him when I was doing urine therapy, and urine therapy really helped me improve my health. And then all of a sudden, he's like representing the flat Earth. But one thing I realized about him is he's very smart, but he does very short time periods on videos or whatever. He doesn't really do videos of himself talking for a long time, talking about flat Earth, and he doesn't engage people on a religious level like Christians. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of like the flat Earth comes. I think the flat Earth has happened now. For one, it's God showing Jesus believers how much some people hate the truth, in the sense of like Mark Sargent and allegedly Dave. These people will come and represent the flat Earth at the same time saying Jesus isn't real. And it's like, that's really evil. Like, that's really wicked. If they're doing that, if allegedly Dave is doing it on purpose. And I think God is showing us that, hey, evil people, there is a huge corporation, there is a huge net of evil people in this world who fight against all truth all day. That's how evil they are. So the flat Earth movement rolls around, and if you're evil, if Satan really rules this world, then what are you going to do with the flat Earth movement? Well, you're going to take Jesus out of it, just like you take Jesus out of everything. Now, the Mormon religion's cool. The Mormon religion is cool because we have it's been revealed to us that Jesus created everything. So you can't believe in the flat Earth. I mean, it teaches that in the Bible too, and Paul actually teaches that plural, that Jesus created multiple worlds, plural. And so this teaches us something cool about before we were born, that before we were born, we were able to do things. We were able to interact with chemicals and dirt and oxygen, on some kind of level. And that's something that hasn't really been talked about much in theology, or well, I guess it has in theology, but among the general population of Christians, that before you were born, you were able to create. And maybe one reason why there were some spirits, maybe one reason why there was a war in heaven is because there were some spirits who didn't want to be creative. And if you think about it, one of the effects of the atonement is to keep you creative, to keep you clean and pure and full of light. You know, we have an ingrained idea of creativity in the modern sense that, you know, we think anything's creative. You know, you do a music video, oh, that's creative or whatever, but it's like, to me, something that's creative is something that's good and pure and edifies and sounds good and, you know, whatever. But anyway, this video is about allegedly Dave, I guess, and it's just, you know, the satanic people, the people who follow Lucifer, or people who say Jesus isn't real, it's like they're buzzkills. And there's been buzzkills in every generation. You know, a buzzkill, the taker aways, the subtractors, the detractors, you know, in the Book of Mormon, you know, the people, the Nephites came to the Promised Land, which was America, and it was only like one generation or two generations, or maybe it was in the first generations, where these guys started coming along and started saying evolution is the thing, and there is no God. It's like wicked people are, you know, at the lowest level, it's like they're just buzzkills. It's like, you know, a group of Christians can be just enjoying themselves, and then these people come along and it's like, oh yeah, there's no God. And it's like, you get this in families too. You know, you can have a really cohesive, unified family, and then you can have that, you know, that person that really doesn't like God or whatever. You know, it's just atheism in a way, it can just be like, you know, it can ruin the moment, or whatever you want to, however you want to call it. It's a lot more serious than that, but it's like Darwin or Ask Tyson or Bill Nye. It's like, yeah, I'm here to ruin your spiritual enjoyment. You know, it's like, really? I mean, come on. You know, it's like Playboy, or, you know, it's like, hey, I'm here to ruin your family. You know, it's like pictures of naked women. It's like, well, wait a minute. Anyway, so it's like you got Mark Sargent, and it's like, now the guy who does The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, I think his name's Will. He points out that Jesus is the creator, that the earth is flat, it's covered in a glass dome, whatever, and that Jesus is real. And then how the flat earth has brought people into a spiritual opening. And there's nothing greater. There's nothing more comforting than spirit. And that's what I'm saying. It's like you get people like allegedly Dave and Mark Sargent, and allegedly Dave can come across as a spiritual person. Or Eric Dubay, that's his name. So you got like Eric Dubay, and it's like these leaders. I don't know if I'd say leaders. The most popular flat earthers are taking away the spiritual side of the flat earth. And nothing's new, you know. Take away Jesus from everything. That's the whole point of worldly, earthly people. So here's the contradiction with allegedly Dave, or D. Murphy. He doesn't have a name. Maybe he's a government agent. I don't know. You know, it's like Jesus had a name, and he'd tell you his name. A name is important. But it's like the flat earth happens, and then along come these guys that will talk about the flat earth, but they won't talk about the spiritual side, which is kind of funny because the whole point of NASA and evolution and modern astrophysics is to keep your mind on the physical, the earthly, the carnal, the lust. And then here comes along allegedly Dave and these other guys, and they're like, yeah, think about, you can't prove Jesus was real. Well, you can through the Spirit. Because if Jesus is real, he's a spirit. He's your spiritual father. He can communicate spirit to spirit through the Spirit. Isn't that the point? No one can prove that Jesus didn't live, in the sense of like, no one can prove that it was just a fiction, because the earliest writings was like, yeah, this guy Jesus lived. I mean, that was the consensus. So technically you can't prove Jesus lived through the historical record, but at the same time, to say that he didn't exist is kind of weird too, because it's like, all right, he was just this fiction that happened in Jerusalem, and but like, people really were killed for being Christians, but Jesus didn't live, so they were killed for believing in a fiction. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it seems like there's a lot more proof through circumstantial evidence that Jesus lived than he didn't. But allegedly Dave might not be a spiritual person. I think the people that should be leading, or should be the most popular, I think the two people that should be the most popular in the flat earth community movement, it should really be only one of two people. Those who do the best videos just explaining how the earth is flat, those who do the best videos with no like silliness going on or whatever, or those who point out the spiritual aspect, that point out the philosophy, the theology. So Will's really good. Allegedly Dave, how does he get on national TV? Why are they choosing him? Why is allegedly Dave getting asked to go on all the radio shows? Why how is this happening? Now, are there a lot of Christians who could take his place? Well, he is pretty good at explaining some things. He's almost too good sometimes. It's almost like it's scripted. But anyway, it's just sad. You know, it's sad to see the flat earth movement bastardized, because the flat earth movement is the Jesus movement. It is the God movement. It's proof that God created the world. God of the Bible created the world, and then if the God of the Bible, the Old Testament, created the world, then that means that the God of the New Testament created the world. So Jesus created the world. So it's very spiritual. And yeah, ODD TV, you know, he's a shill. All these shills, all these liars, all these evil men like Mark Sargent and allegedly Dave, with the purpose to take Jesus out of the flat earth movement. That's really evil. I mean, talk about selling your soul. That's really wicked, man. I mean, that makes me really sad. Because it's like, hey, we don't need faith anymore. You know, in certain things. Like, we know it's true. We know God made this world. We know evolution. We know evolution's garbage. It's funny how we know evolution's garbage just because the water doesn't curve. You know? It's kind of funny if you think about it.